Let's make a Cajun classic dessert, a tarte à la bouillie, which is basically a custard pie. The first thing we need to do is make the sweet dough pie shell, okay? So we're going to start off with 1 stick of butter, which equals to 1/2 cup. We want to melt that down, add in 1/2 cup of some sugar, and we're going to cream that and mix it very well. Then we'll do 2 teaspoons of some vanilla. Then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of some salt. Then we're going to go ahead and crack in 1 egg. And we're going to beat this and mix this very well. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and prep 1/2 cup of some milk. And we're going to set that aside along with this big bowl. And we're going to get out another bowl and mix all of our dry ingredients together. So we're going to need 3 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of some baking powder. Now, you just want to make sure that the baking powder and the flour is just evenly mixed together. And we'll just stir that around before we start adding this back into the sugar and butter mix. And whenever we start adding back, we'll do a little flour, a little milk, until we make a beautiful, nice dough. As you can see here, I do a little flour, a little milk, and then I keep stirring and mixing until my dough is formed. Now, once that dough is formed, I'm just going to knead it together a little bit before I put it onto a clean powdered surface. And you're going to want to roll out your dough until it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, or you can do thinner if you like a thinner crust. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut my crust into a square before I lay it out into my pie shell, but you can do whatever kind of crust you like. I just like the way that this one looks. Now let's start making that bouillie, that pie filling. In a medium-sized bowl, go ahead and add you 1/2 cup of some sugar. Now let's go ahead and crack in 2 eggs. And you're gonna miss the part where I put in 3 tablespoons of flour because I started talking. And there's my expression realizing that I messed up the video. It's okay. So here's me pretending I'm putting in 3 tablespoons of some flour. Well, now that happened, let's go ahead and start mixing and blending this really well. And just go ahead and set that bowl aside and get you out a little pot because we're going to have to warm up 2.5 cups of milk. Now, it's very important that you keep a close eye on your milk and you don't get it too hot because it will overflow and it takes just seconds. And let me show you my epic fail. Yes, Moody, the milk overflowed and I had to clean up my mess because I was talking again. And now that your milk is hot, you want to add a little bit into your egg mix, little by little, until about half the pot is incorporated into your bowl. Then you could go ahead and add that egg mix into your pot. And we're going to cook this on a medium heat until it thickens. Now, I find it's best to use a whisk and whisk it over a medium heat until it gets thick. And I find that the texture comes out a whole lot creamier whenever you use a whisk. Now, once that is done, go ahead and set that aside and let it cool before you add in your vanilla. And we're going to do 2 teaspoons of some vanilla to this. And let's give it its last little final whisk before we pour that into our prepared pie crust. And after I pour my pie crust in, I'm going to fold over my 4 little corners. And let's go ahead and pop that into a preheated oven at 400 degrees. And it's going to take about 30 to 35 minutes for this to cook. Now, it's been 30 minutes and my tarte à la bouillie looks amazing. Let's go ahead and let that cool. And voila, this is our end result. And it's so good. It's not too sweet. And how my family likes to say, let's eat, we just say manger, which means to eat.